Hello students, today we will cover letter writing, and in letter writing we have many kinds of letters, types of letters, but as per our syllabus we are going to deal with informal letter specifically. Now, we write letter in this particular time. That is also something which is not digestible because it's a WhatsApp and Facebook time. Why do we use to write the letter? What is the reason to write the letter? It is a communication skill, we know well. But still, do we have to write the letter? Yes, we have to write the letter because whatever technology has come, it will not fulfill the place of writing and writing skills. So it is one of the important writing skills. That is why we need to follow slowly and gradually. I'll tell you the importance of it. Now let us begin with first, that is letter writing. There are two types of letter, formal and informal. Formal letters and informal letters. Nowadays, formal letters are disappearing. Reason being, we are using mobile phones to talk to our closer ones. We don't have to write them the letter nowadays. But yes, for other purposes, for official work, for any kind of formal talk, we cannot do the same as we do with the closer ones. Like, we are not in contact with such people, they are unknown people to us. That is why we need to write the letter. Now, informal letter, another type. Informal letter meaning business letters. There are so many informal letters, types of letters in that. Business letters, official letters, letters to the editor, job applications, meaning such kind of letters we are writing to unknown people for our work purposes, for our certain work purposes, or any kind of thing, whatever we wanted to do. Like for example, business letters are written because of the business purposes. We wanted to deal formally, we wanted to convey certain messages which is related to business. Then official letters, any kind of request, any kind of complaint, any kind of entreaty, whatever official work, and we have to deal with, we have to communicate with our higher authorities. For that matter, we are using this kind of letter format. Then we have letters to the editor. Now, anything, any news if you wanted to share with editor, if you wanted to talk about anything, then you will have to use the kind of letter, that is letter to the editor. Job application, if you want to apply for the job, definitely there are sectors where, and there are especially whenever you wanted to apply for the job, you need to write job application, and this is also one of the letter. Now, these are the informal letters we follow particularly to write or to convey the message to our whatever reason we have. Okay, now in this lecture, in this particular period, I will be specifically dealing with official letters. Now, official letters, generally, let me tell you students, format, almost all the letters have same, meaning almost same format is used to write any kind of letter. There is nothing like we have different formats. Certain things are changed. Certain things such as, for example, in job application, we have to add resume. Then editor, we need to keep our identity secret. Then official letters and business letters, we use same format. Like now I'm going to tell you that what is the format of official letter and business letter accordingly. Okay, so this is how the letter writing we have. Now let us start with what is the format, how we go on writing these kind of letters. Now first, as I told you that I will deal with official letters today. So while writing official letters, you need to keep in mind, if you see the board, I have already written one example along with certain information whatever I could. That is, see, at the beginning on the top you have the sender's address. See, I have written here civil line 4 Surat. Just for an example I have written, keep in mind you need to write at the top what that is your sender's address. Sender's address at the top along with pin code. Do not forget to write pin code. Writer's address is written here along with pin code. Do not write his name or her name with this particular address. With this particular address, you do not have to mention the name of the sender. Okay, right after sender's address, we have to leave a line or leave little bit space, and then write the date. On which date you are writing that particular letter, that date has to be written right after the sender's address, just below after the sender's address. And keep in mind, you need to follow a particular format of writing date also. See, I have written this way, 20th March 2020. So 20th March, after the month you need to put comma and then year. Okay, so this way, later on, right after the date, below the date, we have to write the receiver's rank or name. You can use any of these. Receiver's name, if you know, and if you do not know, if you know the rank, the position, then you can write the position or name or rank also, and her address. Keep in mind, receiver's name or rank right after or below the date you need to mention, like I have mentioned here, the manager, roadways bus depot, Surat, along with pin code again. See, address, wherever address has come, you need to add pin code of that particular area. So the manager, I have written here rank, not name. If you know name, you can write name. If you know, if you want to write both, you can write both also. Okay, the manager, roadways bus depot, Surat, and along with pin code. Okay, these are the very, very essential things. Later on, after receiver's address, rank and address, we have subject. Now, as I told you, we are going to deal with official letter today. That is why I have put here the subject. Like, what for we are writing that letter? Because we are writing to authorial person. We are writing to authority. We are trying to focus on particular issue or problem or particular work. That is why we need to mention that theme or that particular work in the column called subject here. Now, as you wrote the receiver's address, receiver's name and address or rank and address, then right below that you need to mention the word subject, and following colon or dash you need to write that theme or subject, whatever it is. Like, very few buses plying to Krishnanagar, I have written here for an example. Okay, now this will clarify what is the motto, what is the theme of your letter. Okay, right after the subject, in official letters, you have to write whatever letter or whatever information we write to dignitaries or officials. We have to be very polite or respectful, or we have to acknowledge them while greeting them, right? This is like dear sir, this is salutation we are calling. Okay, when salutation will come, just below the subject. Below the subject you can leave little space, and then you can start the salutation. Salutation depend upon again the person you're trying to write the letter. If you can use dear sir, you can use respected sir, and then you can open with your letter. And you can say that this salutation is opening your letter. Then you are beginning with the main part of the letter, that is main body of the letter. Now main body of the letter, you need to write at least 3 paragraphs. Depend on your content, depend on your how much you wanted to write. Minimum 3 paragraphs. They can be longer or they can be shorter, as it is your choice. So it's very important. You have to be very much sure that what is you have to write and what kind of language you are using. In formal letter, we do not have any scope or chance to use slang words or any kind of informal language. We have to be very specific while using the language, and word selection is very important. You need to be specific language, you need to have specific language while writing main body of the letter, because that will convey what kind of language you are using, what kind of request or entreaty or complaint you are trying to convey. So that is why any business letter, informal letter is demanding very loyal or very good kind of language, very respected kind of language. So be careful while writing the main body of the letter in 3 paragraphs minimum, and use proper language. Okay, just after completion of your main body, you will have again the complementary closer. Now complimentary closer, you are thanking, see here I have written for an example that thanking you, yours faithfully, XYZ. Sometimes you can write your truly, your sincerely, depend on the gratitude, depend on the expression you wanted. Formal expression again, let me mention. Yes, so complementary clause you understood. What is complementary clause? That is, you have to write the expression along with your name and designation. Okay, now as of now I have told you what is the format of the official letter. Now even while dealing with it, I have mentioned what kind of language you need to use. Do not use vague or any kind of extreme slangs or any kind of extreme words which will really not work for your whatever complaint or request you are trying to convey in the letter. See, so official letters are particularly written for complaint, to apologize for any work. If you have made any mistake and you wanted to apologize, then you are again writing the official letter. Even you want to request for anything, you wanted to get done any work, you are using this format. This format is very important, keep in mind, and as per your course and syllabus, you are entitled with the very good marks, and that marking scheme I have given here, you can see for writing format, just format properly. See the format I will tell you once again, the sequence, alignment of the lines, everything is noticed. So keep in mind, your alignment of lines from this side should be in a straight line. This alignment shouldn't go anywhere else but in a straight line. So see here, I have done that way. Sender's address, then date, then receiver's address, then subject, then salutation, then body of the letter, then complementary closer. So this format, this is called format, and for this particular format, if you follow this format properly, you will be rewarded with 1 mark. Now see here, in that you have to be careful for sender's address, date, receiver's address, subject, opening and closing, as I told you now here. Okay, that will be just format for 1 mark. Then content, very, very important part. You will have to be careful for language, because you are writing to authorial person, you are writing to officer. That is why be polite, always use such words. Try to write small sentences and express properly. Say content, you will be rewarded 3 marks for content if you write good content. Then expression. Now expression, see this is skill, it is called writing skill. So what kind of expressions you are using, how you are writing, what kind of language you are using, what kind of word selection you have, and what is your format, whether you are following proper format or not, everything is noticed. And for certain kind of expressions, you will be rewarded 2 marks. See, they will be checking for grammatical accuracy, appropriate word use, spellings, and these minute and minor things also. So these all you will have be checked for. You will be checked for 2 marks. Now see here, last but not the least, coherence and relevance of ideas and style. Say, if you are writing letter to complain, then definitely your idea, your theme, that is your subject, your body of the letter should deal with that particular idea only. That means you will have to be dealing with that particular idea throughout the letter, meaning your subject and your content should match. Further, and style of writing, as I said. Okay students, I hope that you understood today the writing skill, one of the writing skills, that is letter writing, and particularly official letter. So thank you.